Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Coach C with Chicago Bears 360, back with another live recording, video, tape, whatever you want to call it, show for you today. Listen, I promise y'all on Tuesday we're going to get into the Bears defense Hall of Fame film today. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to catch up on some Bears news, see what y'all felt about the first episode of Hard Knocks, that and so much more. Y'all know what's next, man. Got to cue the intro, maestro. Let's go. Also, like, subscribe, run those likes up, so we can get as many people in here. And also, if you're following us from X or Twitter, you know what I'm saying, be sure to subscribe to the channel, man. We're trying to go over 4,000, then over 5,000 for the season. Help me out with that, all right? Please, please, please. Let's go, maestro. Let's go.
Pieces, you know I roll in silence. On the road to them Benjis, I feel my teeth with diamonds. The Lord to put me through some tests so I can learn my lesson. They take advantage when you cool, I can't control aggression. We go back and forth talking, so who we really blaming? Tell me to change, I'm not myself, and then you start complaining. Can't understand your situation if you had a main. But you cost me for some shots, we barely knew a name.
And just like that, we're back. Bears fans, excuse the audio, video. I got some different stuff going on today, but y'all work with me. Work with the background, work with the audio, all this other stuff. We're going to get right into it today. Welcome back to Chicago Bears 360, Chicago Bears football from a coach's perspective. Hey, I know I'm moving these times around a lot. My schedule is super busy because I'm back on the sidelines this season, and I got meetings throughout the day, so I got things I got to get to, and I don't want to cheat you guys out of tape film coverage. And I want to keep my word, so that's why we're here. We're going to get into it, man. Do me a favor. I say it like as you come in, run those likes, run the comments up. If you're in the comment section right now, I can't see you, so let me know y'all hearing me well and all that good stuff so we can get into it just like that. Let's catch up on some Bears news real fast. We're going to talk about the Hall of Fame, or not the Hall of Fame, the Hard Knocks episode that aired on Tuesday, I believe it was. I'm losing days of the week already. Tuesday, I think it was. Get y'all thoughts on it. It's just me by myself today, so I'm going to interact with the chat a lot. Of course, also, I'd be remiss to let you guys know the super chats are open. The super chats, all that other stuff, I'm learning about all of it. All of it is open, as well as memberships. Memberships to the channel is open as well. Man, if you feel so inclined, please become part of a membership of the channel so we can keep this thing going for you, because I'm just going to keep it a bean with y'all, man. As my schedule get busier and busier, I'm having to reprioritize my life and things that I do on the internet as far as providing content, social media. So it's going to have to be worth it, man. It's going to have to be worth it. But let's talk about training camp, where we are so far, heading into week 2 of training camp. Of course, Hall of Fame game last week. Week 1 is preseason. We're going to cover week 2's film next week as we face Buffalo on Saturday. But training camp, the news, the resounding news, or the tinkling brass, if you will, coming out of training camp to me seems to be a lot about the players who are sitting out. Darnell Wright, Andrew Billings, Terrell Smith, and of course, we're going to talk about Nate Davis. We need to have a conversation about Nate Davis, because I'm telling you, as a coach, my patience is wearing thin on the Nate Davis saga. I mean, obviously what happened last year. Life happens to us all. And, I felt like for the most part, the media and the fans, gave grace and gave leeway for all the Nate Davis was going through last year. And I realize it takes sometimes more than the season to get over the tragedy of a loss like that, and so on and so forth. And it's really, part of it is none of our business on the personal side, but on the football side, I think the fans have expected him to have dealt with the tragedy of loss of his mother, I believe it was, and have moved on. So let's start right there. Is it fair? Is it fair? And I know it's going to be a little bit controversial, but is it fair for the fans, the media, to be on Nate Davis already? Maybe what's going on with him is between the ears and not necessarily with his physical health, but maybe with his mental health. Maybe he's still recovering. Is it fair for us to be critical of Nate Davis, a year removed, perhaps from losing his mother in the offseason last week? Of course, you know what I'm saying? We don't mess around with family and kids and stuff like that. But the NFL is a business, you know what I'm saying? And just like any of us who have a job or so on and so forth, we have our bereavement leave, or we have our PTO or paid time off, or sometimes people have to take time off and they don't get paid for their time off. They just have to take time off and miss out on that income. You know what I'm saying? Is it fair for us to go all in on Nate Davis not being available for this football team? Because this team is coming into the season with high expectations, and it's really centered around Caleb Williams. No matter what Nick Saban says, it's going to be centered around Caleb Williams. There's going to be high expectations for Caleb Williams because this is Chicago, right? This is the Chicago Bears fan base, and it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Our fans tend to think football is like Madden. He's going to plug and play and rip off 4,000 yards for the season, take over the city, and we'll get into it later. But I don't think Hard Knocks did any favors in helping to manage the expectation. So how are y'all feeling about Nate Davis? Is the criticism fair that he's out? Should he be back out there? Shout out to King Booker, J2K, AC, Adam. I see y'all Plank in there. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Is it too early, too much, or we need to give Nate some more time? Because to me, you know what I'm saying, at some point the Bears should be looking at, and Matt Eberflus has come out and said it, like all the cliches about availability and player availability have been quoted by Matt Eberflus. He's made it clear where he is on the issue. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's selfishly, I'm like, hey, bro, let's go. You know what I'm saying? We got to get back out there. We got to go to work. And I think sometimes the best distraction to a lot of things we do or deal with mentally is to get to work. Just get active, get mobile as a distraction of it. The other thing is the other injuries. Somebody said that they've seen a lot of Kyler Gordon being on the sidelines. I've seen Darnell Wright's name on the sidelines a lot. Of course, yesterday, Darnell Wright, Andrew Billings, and Terrell Smith were out. A lot of that going on. Nervous about it. I think it may just be player workload management because these preseasons are long, probably a lot longer than I expected them to be. I don't want them to be shortened so much that we ruin the quality of football to start the season, but I think 3 games is probably enough. And if you have padded practice or joint practice, 3 games and a joint practice is enough. You know what I'm saying? That'll allow you to make sure everybody's firing all cylinders and all this other stuff. You got your install done. I mean, in my opinion, offensive coordinator, you never have enough time to install your stuff, right? If I'm looking at it from an offensive coordinator standpoint, then 6 to 8 weeks is not enough. But still, it's enough to get you going with the understanding that, hey, you're going to have to actually progressive overload the offensive install throughout the week and make sure everybody's good to go. Another topic of discussion this week, Velus Jones, position switch, getting a lot of work at running back. How you guys feeling about that? Feeling about Velus Jones potentially moving to the running back position, whether on a permanent basis or on a gadget play basis? Or do you think his best chance of making this football team is to try to gut it out and be on the depth, the wide receiver depth, and to make this team as a specialist? I think this running back room is already crowded enough, right? It's already crowded enough. And I just don't know, as an offensive coordinator, with the exception of outside some gadget plays, how do you get them the carries? What running back do you tell on this true running back depth and say, hey, I'm taking carries away from you to get Velus Jones, whether it's on a toss sweep, whether it's I don't know what you would do. Swing pass, you know what I'm saying? Q8, Q9, what we call a swing pass, Q8, Q9. What are you doing with Velus Jones? And who are you going to in that locker room to say, hey, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna take carries away from you and potentially give them to Velus because we want to try something with Velus. Let me know about y'all thoughts with Velus Jones moving to the running back position. What else I got for y'all in the Bears update? Good morning. What did I want to capture from it? Oh, let's get into it. The Hard Knocks episode. How many of you saw Hard Knocks, the Bears edition, episode 1 on Tuesday? And let me know your thoughts about it. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts about it. Good, bad, ugly, thumbs up, thumbs down in the chat. Let me know how you felt about Hard Knocks episode 1. I've heard so much chatter about this on the Big Four Bears media outlets coverage. Let me sit up in my chair. About this Hard Knocks episode. Some people critical of it. Some people saying some of the parts of it seemed a bit staged, particularly the Kevin Warren, DJ Moore part of it, where Kevin was in the room and when DJ was getting awarded his extension, seemed like it was a little bit overkill to have Kevin there. I think, I don't know if it was staged. It probably was business as usual. We're just getting a look at it, getting the president's final sign off on an extension contracts, going over, the financials and stuff like that before but it did, at least the placement of it, you know what I'm saying? You could say it was like a little, not cringy, but it was like a little bit weird, you know what I'm saying? I will say this because I watch all the Hard Knocks episodes regardless, because I like getting a taste of what's happening behind the scenes. Also, what's happening in the locker room, some of the calls, some of the coaching cliches, some of the footballisms and coachingisms that you can steal from some of the coaches as far as sayings and stuff. If you coach ball, that's the kind of stuff you live for. So, and I'll say, I don't think the Bears' approach to Hard Knocks is as transparent as the New York Giants Hard Knocks episodes were. New York Giants, it felt like they just let the cameras in, let them roll, and let them pick and choose how they approached it without a whole lot of governance and oversight as to what they put out there. New York media markets are probably more used to having, the media in their business than the Bears did, and they were just like, all right, go for it in New York. But I think the Bears are carefully placing what they're saying in this episode and in these episodes for Hard Knocks. So we can't forget our history with Hard Knocks. For a long time we didn't want to do it. So I refuse to believe they just opened up the doors and said, hey, get whatever you want to get and edit it and clip it the way you want to without any kind of review before the episodes are put out. I'll say this as well. A lot was said about managing expectations, and the Nick Saban clip about managing expectations in his discussion with Coach Eberflus of how to manage a quarterback position and what he's saying about Caleb Williams and, the expectations being a killer and stuff like that. I think that's something that you can't control. You're not going to be able to control that in Chicago. It is what it is. They're going to be high expectations. So what can you do to help manage those expectations? I'll say what you can't do to help curtail those expectations. You can't have a Hard Knocks episode where you run Caleb Williams out of the tunnel to the Bulls introduction from the 90s, and they're like, and now, you know what I'm saying? You can't manage expectations that way by putting the aura and the allure of a Michael Jordan, somebody that did so much for the city of Chicago, on Caleb Williams in that moment. That's not going to help manage expectations. So a little bit of a contradiction there. But again, I thought you got good coaching insight from, mentor to mentee with Nick Saban and Matt Eberflus. And Matt Eberflus actually asking them questions about managing the quarterback position. What I thought particularly stood out from that conversation was not so much that, hey, expectations would be toxic for him and all this other stuff. But Matt Eberflus said with his own mouth, hey, and it's about the development. Fans, it's about the development. And Matt Eberflus, and I quote, said, yeah, there's his rookie year, that's his year 2, and there's year 3 where he truly learns the offense. That is Matt Eberflus's words himself, which led me to believe something else, right? Pause. It led me to believe something else. Matt Eberflus and this front office staff were counting on at least a 3-year project with Caleb Williams. So they were counting on at least their careers with the Bears, their jobs with the Bears, getting another 3 years for them, a tenure for another 3 years to figure this thing out. That's Matt Eberflus. That's Ryan Poles at a minimum, right? This was part of the decision. This was part of the decision. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on that part of it. And of course, you know what I'm saying, funny moment there when the Canadian Eagle gives his signing bonus and sings his, does his Ricky Hazen and sings his song. Shout out to him for the song choice, but also speedy recovery to him because he also got injured in the preseason game itself, in the Hall of Fame game. Benedette, I can't remember the first name. I'm struggling with it right now. I don't know if it was Eric, but I know it's Benedette. But speedy recovery to him. But the funniest moment I thought was, the Ripper Wade pants with the bald eagle. I don't know what you call those things he had on. What do you call them? Speedos or man thongs? I don't know what that was, but I thought it was a hilarious part. One of the cool things about coaching football, being in the locker room and all this other stuff is, the personalities on the football team and all this good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes down to it, the relationships is what lasts. And, so I just thought that was a little cool little, spot like that they put out there. I thought it was funny. I'm highlighting some of you guys' comment. I'm going to take a pause and go to them before I cut to this film, this defensive film. We're going to get into it in a second. Let me finish highlighting a few of these, and I'll start from the top, and then I'll go back. I'm trying to get everybody. All right. I'm doing it all today: producing, co-hosting, hosting, doing film, all that good stuff. We're getting right into it. My guy King Booker World says, I lost my mom back in 2005. Sorry to hear that, by the way. Still not right, but at the same time, I got to take what I got to take care of. Blank don't stop, and I have to get back to my business. And that's a fair assessment. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to you for being transparent on that. And, it's a reality. It's a human reality we all have to face. Fortunately for me, mom and dad are both still here, but I have, several people depending on me. You know what I'm saying? So, I would hope at that moment if something happened at times, I got enough and the right people around me that's going to, give me and assure that I go through the proper stages of grief, but also, know when to say, all right, bro, we got to get you back on, back on your square, because again, still people depending on me around here to get right. So, you know what I'm saying? We keep this train moving, and we keep breaking generational curses around here and improving life. My guy J2K Designs in the building says about Nate Davis, you can't cut him with that contract. Eventually the starters will play, and we'll see how Nate does. If he struggles, there should be a competition. And I agree with you, J2K. I think the one thing that concerns me about the whole Nate Davis saga is not how he plays on the field, but how this exception to practicing well and preparing well, how it affects the infrastructure, the leadership infrastructure within that locker room, because you can't have a guy that hasn't proven anything in Chicago having his own set of rules when it comes to practice, right? And I thought maybe at one point that he had something in his contract that allowed him to have, I don't know, a pitch count or a workload management when it came to his, practice reps or something like that, because it was that obvious, or is that obvious that bro simply, since he's been a Chicago Bear, hasn't been available to practice a whole lot. And for all intents and purposes, if anybody needs to be right, ask the team that, my team last night that played their first scrimmage. The offensive line has to be right. So I'm not so much concerned about his ability to play the actual position. And that can be even criticized, because in the time that we have seen him, what grade would you give him? What letter grade would you give him if he was a student in school right now? Right? I'd give him probably a C at best in what he's done with the Chicago Bears. He definitely hadn't been a B or A student when it comes to his level of play for the Bears. So again, next, AC says Nate had that reputation prior to his loss. That's why I'm struggling with his current situation. He's on the last lifeline, in my opinion. And I agree. I think a lot of media people are in the same position with Nate. They're just losing patience with the situation. And the imagery doesn't help. I mean, like the capture picture from yesterday is probably going to resonate in the minds of a lot of people. And you got the guy that's, is questioning his level of focus and commitment to the team, sitting there with hands in his pocket, looking down at his feet or whatever he's doing. It's the optics, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like we tell players body language and all this other stuff. It's the optics. And you know what I'm saying? You just gotta clean that up. You gotta clean that up. Cornelius Sales says about the running back position. I like they're using that Revelis at running back. Quick and to the point. Cornelius Baki in the building says, I seen episode 1 at 8 on the dot, and I like Hard Knocks. Yeah, enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I didn't have a lot of I've watched Hard Knocks anyway. It doesn't matter what team it's on. I've been watching Hard Knocks since forever. And I'll go back and watch episodes sometime. If this is nothing on TV, I'm a big fan of the program. I just like being around football. And I didn't see anything. It didn't look like super filtered or censored compared to other franchises. Again, I heard other programs imply that maybe it was some filtering involved. It doesn't. We'll see over the next few weeks, next few episodes, what it looks like. Cornelius Sales says, can you imagine what the media would say if Karen Warren wasn't involved in a $110 million signing? That's a great point. Because that is a lot of ducats. That's a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? And it's 2 years. We really didn't have to talk to DJ for another 2 years. So the Bears brass Ryan Post, somebody saw something in DJ. Maybe his practice effort, just all around, all the attitude, or they just wanted to. And I kind of refuse to believe this a little bit, but DJ's been in the league for some time, and from what I remember, DJ has never gotten to a big contract in his career. So this is first time getting to a big contract. So them trying to bring some stability to him and his family, and probably trying to save themselves some money from 2 years down the line when they would have to negotiate it, to putting something on the table proactively and saying, yeah, this is a guy that we would want to, lock up for a turn. What I did find funny is all the clips showing, when they were showing DJ Moore highlights and him catching the ball, they made sure something I see they were very careful about is, and then also moving forward. They are very cognizant of the quarterback situation and the sensitivity around it in Chicago. Anytime you see official clips of Chicago Bears and there's a passing game, there's a pass thrown, they make sure to clip out anything related, Justin Fields related. I just think it's funny. It's cool. I noticed it, but I think it's funny. It's funny. Plank at King Booker said the way DJ Allen were getting along, you think they've been teammates for years, man. Yeah, man. They all of them moving around there, acting silly. You see the clips of DJ Moore harassing Swift in practice. That's all cool stuff, man. I'm ready for football. I'm ready for these guys to start playing, and so we can get to it. Cornelius said, yeah, Flus and Post bought them some time with the decision. That's why I said never again would I underestimate the power of politics in football. I believe that had a big part to do with, the decision. And shout out to them, man. I think, again, they got a great talent in Caleb Williams. Moving forward, I think again for all of us, it behoove us to heed the warning, the development warning, because with all that rawness, and he's gonna make flash plays early and all that other stuff, and I hate to do this to the fan base, but it would be less than being myself to be at a reality, because Get Up did a piece this morning. They did a segment this morning when they were like, hey, who's gonna probably pass for the most yards in the rookie season and stuff like that. And a few people said Jayden Daniels. And I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. And from the little time I've had a chance to peek over there, everything that you hear coming out of Commanders camp is, raving news. And I can't wait to see the kid on the field, because as far as being pro ready, and a lot of people scoffed at this, I said as far as being professional football, schematic, X's and O's, play calling, having experience being in an NFL offense, Jayden was the most experienced and ready to go. And I thought that he would get off to a better start. But my expectation is that Caleb would, once he learns the things that really wouldn't talk to him in college, that he would catch up with him and surpass him, because then the arm talent, the raw skills and the raw abilities would take over. So Caleb's ceiling is higher than Jayden's from a raw talent perspective. It's all on Shane and the Bears and how they prepared him and how they developed him. That was the deal. So looking forward to seeing both quarterbacks covering the NFL overall. You know what I'm saying? Seeing what happens with the Justin Fields saga. I just think it all is going to be interesting, fun to cover from a media standpoint. So it gives us content, it gives us something to talk about from a media standpoint. And then it gives us something to debate about, friendly debates. And they don't have to be hard lined on it. But I just think, watch out for it. It's just going to be fun content to cover. You know what I'm saying? If you on one side of it, the other, you can get a chance to collect some receipts and all that other stuff and get on with your life. It is what it is. That's just life in the media, social media game, all that, how it goes. You know what I'm saying? We hedge our bets on our takes, and we try to live with that. But look, let's get into some of this Bears defensive footage, and we'll try and break down and let you see what we're seeing from a defensive perspective and talk about it and have some fun with it. If I freeze up, don't run away from us. I didn't reboot this morning, so if I freeze up, give me about 4 minutes. I'll be back, reboot, and be back. Hopefully we get that stuff fixed before the season's out. I don't know why my computer does that, but either way, it's a MacBook. It's supposed to be able to hold all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be able to deal with all this stuff. So let's do it. Let's get into it. First thing I'm going to pay attention to, man, is we're just going to really take a look at, you know what I'm saying, the box coverage is what we're doing on the inside. So right now, our base defense is 4-3 defense. You got your one technique over here. You got your three technique. You got your ends. You got outside. This guy usually going to be lined up outside eye of the furthest most person, the tight end. Usually this guy is head up to outside eye so they can eat up blocks and filter everything to the linebackers. Also, part of this defense, and the difference between this defense and the 3-4 defense is it's a gap penetration defense. So you control that gap, but get up in that gap and be disruptive. Now, that's the bottom line. Get up through your gap and find the ball, be disruptive now. This one is designed to eat up 2 blocks. Most of the time, this is going to eat up 2 blocks. So this guy has this gap. This has his gap. He has this gap. He has contain. He has this gap. A, B, C, B, A, B, C, contain. Just like that. Create a funnel everything to the linebackers. Everything should come. Got gap discipline, run fits, all those good football terms, right? So let's see if we're doing it. Come out to pass. I don't know what coverage we're in because I can't see the back end, but it looks like, maybe we're probably in a cover 2 man or something like that. Maybe a different angle for this. All right, since I explained the front end, let me get a different angle because I want to talk about coverages too. Because you can't really talk about defense and you break down all 22 film and you don't talk about coverages. So, and it wouldn't be as fun. I'm just gonna tell you right now. If I'm just talking about the box, it ain't gonna be as fun. So let's get a sideline. Let's get a sideline view. What do we have right here? What options we have? By the way, I know my let's go sideline view. I know my, coverage of my version of film breakdown is not as sexy as some. I don't have the fancy graphics and all that other stuff as some, but I promise you the content is quality. The information, if you take it in, is quality. All right. The teaching points are quality. If you have any questions, man, hit me up in the chat. We're going to probably do about 15 plays. I got a meeting to get to, so I can't go overtime anyway. Motion. So right there, you let me know off the motion that we're probably in zone, right? You don't see a whole lot of response to that motion right there, right? So single high safety, they ran the guy in motion with no adjustment. It was probably cover 3, right? And if for you guys that's new to the show, haven't been around, how do we read coverages, count the safeties, count the depth of the cornerbacks, how far are they playing off? Right here, they're pretty deep, right? And then their leverage, the leverage or angle that they're pointing the cornerback or the wide receiver to, whether they're trying to force the wide receiver inside or they're trying to force the wide receiver outside. So if they're taking away the outside or the inside, it's going to let you know kind of what coverage. So safety count, the cornerback depth and leverage. Also, adding to my coaching repertoire and film breakdown repertoire this season, breaking news. I wish I had an alarm. I do got an alarm. I'm adding to my coaching repertoire and film breakdown repertoire this season. Adding into that. This is a breaking news. Boom, explosion. That's what the explosion was for. Because I'm dropping the bomb for y'all today. Another thing that you're going to be able to tell, because we always talk about how difficult it is for quarterbacks to read coverages, right? Any middle school quarterback can come up here and do what I just did. Safeties, depth, cornerback depth, and leverage. They know SDL. The harder part about reading coverages, say we had 2 high safeties right here, and we're going to hopefully get a look at that. Say we had 2 high safeties right here. The harder part about reading coverages for anybody is determining who they're going to spin down into the box, because they're going to show you 2 high safety during the season and then end up in single high safety. So they're going to take one of these guys and start out back here. They're not just going to line up here in this 4-4 look. They're going to start out up here and then run a guy down. That's what they're going to do. So how do you determine which guy is going to actually come? That's what Caleb Williams said he was struggling with. I'm trying to figure out how to adjust the blitzes, how to read the spinning safeties. That's what he said he struggled with right now. That's the hardest part. So I got a little clue bomb in that I've been studying under this one guy in the offseason, and he kind of gave me a hint to how to determine that. And he plays the quarterback position. I was like, oh, that's cool. Glad to know it. All right, let's get into it. Single high safety, cornerback's back, cover 3. So this guys hook the flat, hook the curl, hook the flat. These guys got outside thirds. This guy got middle third. He got outside third. Play your zone. Keep everything in front of you. Come up, run, and tackle. That's what we did. So we're seeing a lot of cover 3. And that's what you're going to see. You're going to see man and cover 3 in the preseason. You're going to see us be pretty vanilla. You ain't going to see a whole lot of spinning safeties. But really, we're judging this off of how hard we're playing, probably up front, really. And a lot of criticism after this game about for Zach Pickens, which I was disappointed by. I got to admit, just watching these clips real quickly, because Zach Pickens is known to be a line of scrimmage resetter, somebody that resets the line of scrimmage. So if you see where the ball is right here, usually Zach Pickens is the type of guy, at least coming into the league, he's a guy that doesn't give ground up here. Usually coming off the ball, you'll see the center or the guard move back. So that's something I just want to keep an eye on for a few plays. See, that's what he's known for right there. That's what he's known for right there. So maybe we're probably a little bit overcritical, not paying attention to the right thing. He's not known for being a superb pass rusher. But when it comes to the run game, he's known for coming off the ball and resetting the line of scrimmage. And that's what a good one technique does. So he does his job right here. His first job right here, that center goes back into the running back. So already, you see right here, already because of this guy and Zach Pickens, if it's inside zone or outside zone, this running back is having to cut back already because Zach did his job. And a lot of people were critical sometimes, but they don't know whose responsibility is what. That's not on Zach. Let's take a look at who it was on. Boom. So Zach, so right here, this is a problem. I don't know who this is, but not only did you open the gate, right? So closed gate is having your shoulder pads parallel to the line of scrimmage. Open gate is having your shoulder pads perpendicular, I hope that's the right word, to the line of scrimmage. This guy has his back. Who is this? Who's the victim here? Who's the victim? Let's move. Is that the 3 technique? Boom. So 3 technique is squeezing down. Yeah. See, this is your 3 technique right here. You can't see the ball. You turn your back completely to the line of scrimmage. And that's why this play is going behind you, because he has control of his gap. Zach does. You don't have control of your gap right here, buddy. That's terrible. That's on you. He can find the ball. This is on the 3 technique right there. That's you. It runs right through your gap, off of you. You didn't know what was going on. Who is that? Hardy. That wasn't good. Here we go. Watch the line of scrimmage again. Watch Zach come off the ball. Boom. Being disruptive, right? They're going fake. They're faking the outside zone, booting off of it, and coming back over the middle. But Zach is doing his job. See, I was critical of him. Y'all heard me early on, but when you slow the film down, and this is why we do this, all right, going into their pass rush stuff, Zach gets double teamed. All right, ball out, quick game. So let's see what's happening on the back end right here. Let's see what's happening on the back end. Let's see what we're in. And ball's out. 2 high safeties. So how do we read coverages? 2 high safeties. Cornerback depth and leverage. So y'all let me know in the chat. Y'all let me know. 2 high safeties. What are we in? Cover 1 or cover 2? Let me know in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat for 1. Put a 2 in the chat for 2. Put a 1 in the chat for 1, 2 in the chat for 2. Y'all let me know what coverage we in. Y'all think we in already. Take a guess. Take a guess. 2 for 1, 2 for 2, 1 for 1. Cover 2, some kind of even coverage. You think we in cover 2 or 1? Let me know and tell. Take a well guess. No bad answers. It's a learning period. All right, boom. What's next? Cornerback depth and leverage, right? So you got 1 guy back, you got 1 guy on, you got a guy in the slot. They sent nobody in motion, right? So I'm guessing off bat, right? We're in 2-man. And I'm going to judge that off of this guy and this guy. Because this guy has safety help over the top, right? This guy, he's less worried about this guy because he has help to the inside. You don't want to just get up. So I'm going with 2-man. Let's see how they go when they run it. Boom. Yeah, 2-man. Exactly what it is. Linebacker has him. So they trying to pick on the inside linebackers in pass coverage versus a tight end. You know what I'm saying? Pretty typical, right? This is what they call Florida concept. Florida concept. So we got the fly and the out. Florida is the fly, FL from the fly and the out. Flow, Florida. That's why they call it that. Florida concept. You got the fly and the out. Florida. It's meant to be man coverage, 2-man, and cover 3. 2-man and cover 3. All right. Here we go. Play number, I don't know. Here we go. Single high safety, man. I'll cover 3. We're going to call it cover 3. Or y'all tell me, cover 3 or cover 1? Cover 3 or cover 1? Say a 3 in the chat if you think this is cover 3. Put a 1 in the chat if you think this is cover 1. Quickly, quickly, quickly. Come on, man. Guess. Guess with me. Guess with me. It's easy. 3 in the chat if you think it's cover 3. 1 in the chat if you think it's cover 1. Or a man. Or a man. All right. And then this versus a I formation. Little flex look off of I formation. Let's see what we're doing. Boom. Simple trap. Are they running at the guy that turned his back earlier? Yep. So is that Hardy again? Now Hardy doing his job on this one. You're supposed to get, so if Zach has A, Hardy has B, unless they got some kind of twist stunt going on with the linebackers or a slant. So let's see why he charged into that gap. Boom. Nope. He got his gap. Zach, or if this is Zach, he has control of his gap. The linebacker just has to feel. So he has to take on that fullback in the hole. One of these guys does, and the other guy has to be the cleanup with the safety. Let's see how we do. Boom. Did they get the fullback? Yep. Oh, he breaks it back inside. Seems like an awful lot of yards just for a lead play. See. Now, this is the tough part, right? We was talking about that spinning safeties earlier. They started out in too high look. They walking the guy down. Yep. They're going to start too high, come back to single high. Boot off of it. Garbage. That's what you're going to get in this preseason. You're going to get single high safety, man looks, cover 3. It's high school, man. That's what it's high school and middle school. That's what you're going to get high school and middle school. They didn't cover 3, cover 1, or a man. They're not doing a whole lot of 6s and exotic blitzes and stuff in preseason. It's just not happening. That's why you focus on D-line and in the front 7, the box play. Yeah. See, we should be stopping this. We should be stopping this. I'm just gonna do one drive on this because defense is so vanilla in the preseason. It's just a teaching moment. So get y'all, we're in preseason mode. We're gonna get y'all ready for the season so y'all understand what coverage looks like, what we're doing. Send the guy in motion. That guy's trailing with him. So what coverage we in? Man coverage, right? Exactly. You got a jet sweep off man coverage with a trailer. And that's one of the things you do, right? You see that they're in man coverage as an offensive coordinator. You see their man run the jet sweep because that guy that's trailing, he has to get through all that traffic, right? And one of the ways you force them out of man coverage is run jet sweeps, especially if the guy can't get through traffic, right? If he can't get around his linebackers and stuff smooth, run the jet sweep. I don't know what. That was a flag about, if it was a flag. Probably offensive. All right. Now we're doing the spit. We did. So they had some kind of, you see that? They had some kind of slant on. Watch the end. Watch the end right there. We had some kind of slant on right here. I hope that's what a slant was. They gave it away. They made the block easy for him. Just block down and clear it out. And running back, shoot. They lucky he didn't score right there. Yeah, hold your water right there, defensive end. Oh, poor footing, poor tackling. Let's see what we got coverage wise right here. Let's see why this happens. All right, they got a too high look. Okay, we get in the red zone. We're going to go with a what? Too high. Watch their depth, cornerback depth. They're playing about 5 years off, but they're angled in a way to force everything to the inside. So this tells me we're in like cover two zone, right? And the quarterback has to find the zones in the coverage right now, which in cover two zone, the open spots are going to be in the middle right here, underneath the linebackers, behind the linebackers. And if you can get lucky, if you can hold the cornerbacks, then you can find space in the back deep thirds, right? So let's see where he finds his holes at, or somewhere behind the cornerback. Yeah. So they run off the cornerback out of his zone coverage, and then they come back underneath. And then we wet the bed on the tackle. Just some simple looks at some stuff that we're doing right now. It's nothing too complicated. Just to get you guys' appetite wet for defensive football as we head into the season. You know what I'm saying? You guys, let's get back to it. Let's have a quick discussion before I get out of here real fast. What do you guys think about the Bears defense heading into the season? And what are your expectations? How do you think this Bears defense will start out the season? Do they need to be lights out electric to start the season in order for us to make the playoffs? Y'all let me know in the chat what you're thinking. We're going to be back on Sunday, 11 Eastern Standard Time, 10 Central, with the crew, the whole crew, and nothing but the crew, right? Breaking down the events of the last week with the whole mod squad. We have to come up with the name for our crew, for sure. Let me go back this and stop this coverage because the film is distracting me. But y'all let me know what y'all thinking about it. Again, we're just having fun with the defense. Not a lot of stuff you can do with defense right now because they real vanilla. But we get a chance to look at the starters. Hopefully that announcement happens. Hopefully that announcement happens on today about us getting to look at the starters on Saturday. Hopefully Caleb gets at least 2 drives, 10 plays at minimum, and we can get a chance to look at this starting O-line specifically because that's what all the concern's about. Look, I got to get out of here. I got a meeting I got to get to. I just want to hop on and keep my word. Again, if you're watching this on the playback, do us a favor, man. Subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this on the X, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to go over 4,000 for the season. Our stretch goal is over 5,000 subscribers. Remember also, if you're watching the playback, super chats are open, memberships are open. We welcome all of that as we continue to grow in this Bears social media game. This is Chicago Bears 360 with Coach T. Bears football from a coach's perspective. I promise if you hang out long enough, you will learn something that you didn't know about football before. That's our promise to you. Do me a favor and hang out, and we'll see y'all next time for Sunday. Y'all know how we say it on Chicago Bears 360. It's past, present, and future. We bear down. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.